In those days, the sun shone brightly on the desolate hills where Adam and Eve lived. The two brothers, Cain and Abel, grew up amidst a harsh yet vibrant environment. Abel was attached to his flock, while Cain plowed the land and sowed crops every day. On the surface, they grew up under the same roof, but on the inside, their hearts beat differently. Cain always felt he was the one carrying the heavier load, weathering the rain and sun on the dry land. He looked at his brother, Abel, with a mixture of love and something hard to name. Abel always walked lightly. His song echoed through the pastures and made the sheep follow obediently. Their parents, Adam and Eve, kept reminding them that they were being protected by God, that life in the wilderness was a gift. But for Cain, those words sometimes sounded distant. He looked at his dusty hands and wondered, why does my life have to be harder? Why doesn't God see my toil? The first seed of jealousy grew very quietly, not because Abel was better, but because Cain began to feel God was closer to Abel than he was. And that thought, even if it was only a shadow, planted a dangerous seed in the brother's soul. The day of the sacrifice drew near, and both of them prepared their offerings. Cain selected the produce of his fields, the finest grain, and the fruit he had tended day by day. Abel selected the firstborn lambs, the best of his flock. The wind blew gently that morning, carrying the warmth of the sun. Cain piled his crops on the stone table. He stood up straight, his heart full of hope. This time God will see my work, he thought. As for Abel, as he placed the lamb on the altar, he closed his eyes as if speaking to God. His offering was not just a lamb, it was his heart, devoted to God. Then the moment came. The fire from heaven fell on Abel's offering first, blazing brightly. As for Cain's offering, it remained still with only a gentle breeze blowing through it. Cain stood still. Abel was filled with joy as he thanked God, but Cain felt as if his heart was being squeezed. He did not understand why God did not accept his heart. Disappointment was like an iron hook stuck in his chest. And somewhere deep inside him the darkness smiled softly. Cain wandered alone, his hands clenched. He tried to take deep breaths, trying to tell himself, "It's okay, it's okay." But the truth was, his heart was breaking. God spoke to Cain, his voice not of reproach but of love. "Cain, why are you angry? Sin is crouching at the door, but you can master it." But Cain only heard half of it. The rest of his heart was overwhelmed by the comparison. God loves Abel more. Abel is always seen, while I am not. Abel saw that he was sad, so he came over and put his hand on his shoulder. "Brother Cain, I know you have tried very hard." But the words only hurt Cain more. He felt pitied, made a failure. The jealousy was no longer a seed. It had grown into a sharp thorn that pierced his heart. One afternoon, Cain came to find Abel. His voice was eerily calm. "Can you go out to the field with me for a while?" Abel smiled and agreed without a doubt. He always believed in brotherhood, believed that Cain just wanted to confide or find relief. The two of them walked through the meadow, the wind blowing gently, the pink light of the late afternoon covering the vast land. Abel told of the newborn lambs, while Cain was completely silent. A fierce battle raged inside Cain's head. One voice urged him to stop, to go back, to apologize. Another voice, dark, cold, whispered, "There is no turning back. If Abel is gone, this pain will disappear." Cain clenched his teeth. Cold sweat ran down his back, and the tragedy begins to take shape. Reaching the highest point of the wilderness, where the wind was blowing strongly, Abel turned back and smiled at his brother. "Brother Cain, is there something you want to tell me?" Cain looked at that gentle face. A flicker of hesitation flashed in his eyes, but then disappeared. The darkness in him won. He picked up the big rock and, the blow came down. Abel did not scream. He just looked at Cain with a look of shock and sadness. Then he fell to the ground. The wind whistling past his shoulders, Cain gasped and threw the stone away. He looked at his trembling hands, then at his brother's lifeless body. A feeling of dread spread through him. What have I done? On that wasteland, the first crime between man and man occurred. Cain tried to bury his brother, but the earth seemed to refuse. The wind blew strongly as if to accuse him. The sky grew dark. Then God's voice echoed in the silence. "Cain, where is your brother?" Cain trembled, but still lied. I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord's voice rang out loud as thunder, but sad as a sob. "The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." Cain fell to his knees. The ground beneath him opened up, taking with it whatever peace he had left. God said, "You will be a wanderer on the earth. The earth will no longer yield any fruit from your labor." Cain burst into tears. "This punishment is too severe. Anyone who finds me will kill me." But God placed a mark of protection over Cain. "No one shall kill Cain. Whoever harms you will be punished sevenfold." It is not total forgiveness but mercy. Even to the offender, God wanted Cain to live, to face his conscience, to face himself, and maybe one day to find the light again. Cain left home, his parents, and the place where his brother had lived. He walked through the desert, where the days were scorching hot and the nights bitterly cold. Every step was heavy with guilt. He missed Abel's smile. He missed the times they ran after the sheep together. He missed Abel hugging him from behind when he was sad. All of that was now a past, blackened by his own hands. But the mark God placed on him is a reminder. He does not abandon people, even when they lose themselves. One night, Cain sat by the fire. He closed his eyes and saw the moment before he killed him. If only he had chosen to forgive. If only he had chosen to talk. If only he had let go of his jealousy. Everything should have been different. But Cain understood. The past cannot be changed. What can be changed is the heart from now on. He covered his face and cried, no longer tears of anger or fear, but tears of true regret. For the first time in a long time, Cain felt a small ray of light in his heart. Cain raised his head, looked into the darkness before him, and said very softly, "God, if you can still hear me, please teach me to live the rest of my life as a loving person." There was no response, but Cain felt a warm breeze on his face. He understood it was not a complete forgiveness, but a sign that God was still listening. And Cain continued walking, no longer a fugitive, but a seeker of healing. Cain's story doesn't end with a bright light. It ends with a small glimmer of light, but sometimes, as in all journeys of faith, a glimmer of light is enough to begin again.